let's begin. So we're discussing our music. Why our music doesn't travel. Why our music doesn't cross our borders. Let me start with you, David. Why is it so?
It's a very open-ended question, and the reality is our music does travel, right? But to where is the question? And if you look at some of our biggest artists, the Stone Boys, the Shattawalis, the King Promises, and so on. The music is out there. It's global, but the audience is primarily Ghanaians. Primarily Ghanaians out there. So if the music is being listened to in the States, in Europe, it's primarily Ghanaians that are listening to it. Whereas other artists from our neighboring countries, where we seem to be having a problem with at the moment, the Nigerian artists have learnt to cross boundaries and not play only to Nigerians abroad. You see the thing, when they're doing their shows, if you look at the audience, you see it's a mix of foreigners, whites, blacks, everybody's in the audience. So I think it's our focus. We are playing to our local audience, and we're trying to please them instead of looking at what's happening in the world. What is the sound? What are they doing to get noticed by a white American teenager? How do you get her attention and listen to your music? What's the secret? So, and it's been done for decades and decades. There's nothing new about it. I think the problem is we don't actually research music as a business, and we don't implement, the tried and tested, the things that have worked.
You mentioned that. Oh, okay. So we are pleasing our audience. First, the argument or the conversation was language. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, we use Chi. We use our local dialect. We use our local language, and that is the reason we are not crossing or breaking barriers. Mm. Now, a lot of us are using English. Even our biggest artists are predominantly reggae musicians here in Ghana now, right? I mean, Samini, Stone Boy, Shattawali, Sarkodie will even mix English with Chi. Yeah. He's done very well, although using the local language to cross it, right? However, most of them are using patois, which Jamaica has proven beyond all reasonable doubts that is doable. They've been able to cross it. So, if we are pleasing the audience, better yet using English or foreign language, why is it that it is still hovering around and not crossing?
Again, we're not getting our message out. You see the thing, we're simply not getting heard by the right people. And, there's the other aspect that, fine, we may be using patois to perform our songs, but is that really our identity? You see the thing, is that really our identity? Do we do it authentically, that you can compare any of our artists to, let's say, a Sean Paul or so on, who's from there? You see the thing, they developed the language, and we are appropriating it and trying to mimic it effectively. You see the thing. So do you expect that we'll be able to reach the same level as a Sean Paul or a Beanie Man? You see the thing. Can we get there by mimicking them, or can we create our own language, our own sound? You see the thing. So that can also be associated with who we are as Ghanaians. That's one aspect. But I think primarily the biggest thing is our promotion. Okay. That's why we're not crossing borders. It's promotion.
Beat Menace, welcome.
Thank you.
Same question. Why? What is wrong?
Well, quite a number of things are wrong. To begin with, I'll say, and I don't think our people speak patois anyway. I call it impatois. but A number of things, really. Even before we begin the international conversation, let's bring it down. Like, let's come back home. You'd realize that even in Ghana, our promotion is so bad, and our country is very fragmented. Okay, it's very segregated when it comes to music, because most of the key artists who are popping in different parts of Ghana are relatively unknown in Accra, and vice versa. A few crossover, people will know the Sarkodie's, will know the Stone Boys, but we never heard about Fancy Gadam when he was filling stadiums up north.
Okay.
Until he brought his sound to Accra to perform to his people here in Accra and was filling out venues.
Right.
And then he came on our radars. I schooled in Kumasi. Right now, Kumerica is a phenomenon. 20 years ago, even before that, they had similar hip-hop influenced movements happening in Kumasi. Very, very vibrant scenes. Ironically, when the Asaka boys came on our radar, people were trolling them. People were laughing at them, and then they became a viral sensation. And then the late Virgil co-signed them, and then all of a sudden we thought it was cool.
Okay.
You understand? So we have a big problem. Okay, there's a political aspect to it, there's a social aspect to it, there's a cultural aspect to it. In 2019, just before COVID hit, the biggest Ghanaian song in neighboring Benin, make we not go Yankee Sef. Let's restrict the conversation, Sef. Neighboring Benin was VIP's Ahunkaon.
After all these years.
Yes, I kid you not. That song was released, if I'm not mistaken, in 2002. Do you know why that was?
Are you asking why I know?
VIP got signed to Kenny's Music.
Right.
Kenny's Music used to come and do stuff in Ghana.
With goodies.
Yes, with goodies. And he signed VIP. This was, I think at the peak of their career, just before, they finally disbanded and that sort of thing. For those who may not be familiar with who Kenny's Music is, he's the one who introduced Two-Face to the world. What's that song? Africa Queen.
Yeah.
Is it Africa Queen?
Yeah, Africa Queen.
Yeah, Africa Queen. So he promoted the record heavily across West Africa. And in 2019, the most popular Ghanaian song in Benin was still VIP's Ahunkawo.
I think it's still the biggest song from Ghana in Nigeria.
Yeah, it's crazy, yes. And that's why Patience, what's her name?
Ozoko and even Wizkid.
And Wizkid interpolated it in the Manya song and, Patience's song and that kind of thing. So we have a big problem. Now, prior to the successive military-led coup d'etats in Ghana, there was a culture we had. If you study our history, the locals used to call it trekking, right? In fact, it was a strategy that was used to sensitize the minds of many Ghanaians to prepare for independence, right? So they had these pantomime groups, they had the cantata groups, they have the concert party groups that will travel with this guitar band high life musicians, right? So they'll travel from city to city to city to city until they've literally exhausted the entire landscape from south to north, east to west. So people will travel from neighboring villages to come and catch the show before the show even gets to their village.
Concert party.
Exactly. If the show is really good, they'll follow the troupe to the next village.
Right.
So by the time the band gets to the next village, people are singing the songs. So it gets to a point you don't even get impressed when you do shows abroad and you're performing to your own people. I keep saying Ghanaians are the only people who travel outside of Ghana, perform to Ghanaians, 5 Chinese people, 3 of whom were drunk, and you know how the hell they bought the tickets and got there, right? 75 Nigerians, half of whom are probably flatmates or housemates with Ghanaians, and some who genuinely love Ghanaian music. Come back to Ghana and tell us they're selling out shows and they've gone international. It's a gimmick.
They went on a tour.
Exactly. Meanwhile, you see someone like Ebo Taylor performing in places like Japan. Tickets sell out.
Huge crowd.
Charlie, people, they feel Wedge Airport just to get a glimpse of them because they don't have a chance to go to the show. And they are singing fancy songs. So even the argument about the need or the necessity to sing in predominantly English is false. Charlie, me, I can sing Malamente word for word. I don't know what the hell the lyrics mean, but I know what that song makes me feel. You know? So I think we have a lot of misplaced priorities. And another thing is, I'm going to cite a hypothetical example. If a Nigerian walks into the room, a Japanese person walks into the room, a Ghanaian person walks into the room, a Jamaican person walks into the room, which of these persons do you think will, in just their natural approach to interaction in the space, without being self-conscious, will you gravitate towards? Everybody but the Ghanaian. So I think it begins from self. We need to know who we are. We need to have a better sense of worth and identity. And I mean, you can't give what you don't have, okay? Music is a spiritual thing. It's a conduit that flows through you, and then you may or may not have the means to express whatever it is you're feeling. But you can't express what you don't have. You know what I mean? And that's another reason why some foreigners can come to Ghana, take some things that are culturally Ghanaian, and even finesse it better than we do. You understand what I'm saying? So it's crazy. So I think artistic and personal development is key. And then the right promotion and business acumen. Because I'll say, like, in music business, there's a difference between music and music business. In music business, 20% is the music, 80% is the business and promotion. And that's what we need to figure out.
Before I get to KOD, let me get back to something you said that got my interest. The VIP song.
Right.
Why do you think after all these years it's still banging in neighboring countries? Was it about the sound? Was it about promotion?
I think
if you look at the video, I mean, you will laugh like.
Yeah. The video was a bit corny, but you know, it had a charm of its own. Mm-hmm. But you see, here's a funny thing. I don't know if you guys have heard of something called pawpaw.
What?
Pawpaw. P-O-R-P-O-R.
Pawpaw.
Pawpaw. Okay, so you see, Charlie, this is wild. But Ghanaians are we are probably the most creative people on earth, and I'll explain why. You see the Fanai sellers, the horn they play. Yes. Taxi drivers, trotro drivers have created a music form that, for the most part, is known amongst them alone. A friend of mine is actually shooting a documentary on that. Okay. And they call the music pawpaw. They make music with car horns.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's why sometimes you sit in a taxi driver and it's a skill, because I mean, I drive, but I mean, a horn is supposed to produce just one sound, right? They have ways of hitting it, and you hear variations in tone and pitch. Right. It's weird, and they call it pawpaw. Now, this is an extraction or an expansion of a core idea of our brass music.
Okay.
Fancy Dress Festival, the Masqueraders, Western Central Region. They have a technique, they blow horns. It's unique to us. In the Surinamese have it. Some the New Orleans tradition incorporates a bit of that, but it's more jazzy. Yes,
I think Guyana also.
Yes. But they have there are some progressions they play. Okay, there are some chord progressions they actually play that is unique to us. They have transcribed that into pawpaw. Now, if you listen to Ahunkaum, what does the bass line remind you of? Thank you.
Okay.
What other part of the world do you hear stuff like that? It's unique. With the right promotion, because it's unique, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Okay. I can't rap like Jay-Z and expect Americans to put me over Jay-Z when he's the real deal and he's the point of reference with me. Okay. I need to do certain things differently. I keep telling people, I mean, who's the number one ambassador of reggae music in the world, historically? It's Bob.
Can you imagine? He actually sold more than all the reggae musicians put together last year.
Yes.
Yeah. And how long has he been gone?
Yes.
40 years plus.
Jesus Christ.
Have you heard Bob Marley's first recordings where he was singing R&B and doo-wop?
Yeah, no, back in the day. Some poor sound.
Have you heard the early Fela recordings before he discovered Afrobeat? Now, the two people who started Afrobeat was Fela and the late Tony Allen. He invented the groove. Tony Allen was a student of Kofi Ganaba. He taught him polyrhythms. Yes. He literally gave him the concept of polyrhythms. Now, before Fela started doing Afrobeat, he had a band called Kula Lobitos. You can Google it. They used to make Afro-Cuban jazz music. Nobody paid them any mind. Yo, Adebi, you know for take play. Even if you listen to drill music and trap music and the bass in the music, you understand the 808 bass, the kick where they manipulate the pitch. You hear Wanna Dondo say they do that in centuries with this. When was the last time? Have you ever heard a Ghanaian record that is hip hop with Dondo where they fight for space as bass? We are creative, but our expression of that creativity is truncated. Okay, even the process where they make fufu, right? Pounding the fufu. The lady they drive on for the mortar inside. It's creativity. Because I personally haven't ever been to a hospital to see a lady's hand flattened because she got hit by the pestle, but by the mortar. And it's the same thing in music. It's like song arrangement. She avoids getting her fingers smashed because she's concentrating on the moments of silence in between the hits. Okay, so we have creativity all around us. We just need to be more observant and find ways or new ways of expressing it. That's it. And with the right and the proper business acumen, we definitely would make a difference.
Okay, well, Beat Menace, well, thank you very much. Interestingly, I was on the phone with JQ a few days ago. And on Fridays, I have a new show coming up. So on Fridays, I get into it's called The Library. So The Library focuses on productions. I did DKB, remember? There was a segment I was working on. So I'll pick a catalog of DKB or JQ, then songs he had produced. Then I play them and I tell the stories. So I've been doing researches and I've been calling the producers to ask them, so how did you create this? So how did you work with this person? This, that. Charlie, I was just calling JQ for just some 20-minute discussion. We ended up talking for almost 2 hours. I mean, the stories with the song. Yeah. And even I'm Home Alone. And he was telling me something about Afrobeat. He said there is some conga in the song. I say it's now banging in Afrobeat. Something he had done 20 years ago. That was why I was asking you about the song. Okay. Right, Keldy, welcome.
Andy, it's good to see you. Let me apologize for coming in late. That's
very unusual of you.
Yes. I underestimated the traffic.
Okay, so Kofi, we're discussing why our music doesn't travel, why it stays within our confines. What's your take on it?
I think it starts with being intentional about what you do. You produce your record, you start promoting it on radio in Ghana, starts making waves. Are you content with where you are? Do you want to go beyond the Ghanaian borders? Finance is also an aspect that we can't overlook. I mean, we see quite a number of our brothers from Nigeria, other countries come here to promote their music, but how often do we intentionally decide to go out there to promote our music? It's pretty rare. Christmas in Ghana, people are coming from different walks of life, different countries, and coming here to have fun, and not just have fun, go around radio, TV stations to have interviews, and that's a subtle way of still promoting their music. We stay back home, maybe because we have a lot more gigs back home compared to other people and wherever they are coming from. But we rarely go out there to intentionally promote our music. And like it's been said earlier, when we're out there, what kind of audience are we playing to? Are we playing to the Ghanaian audience, or we make an effort to appeal to an international audience? Yeah, that's those are the things we need to look at. I mean, Ebo Taylor, for instance, I know for a fact that he doesn't work with local event promoters when he's out there. Of course, they need to be people who have a certain connect to an international audience. The last
he works with international booking
exactly, yeah. The last 3 or 4 years, one person who's been really out there promoting himself as well is Pat Thomas. I don't know if we've paid attention to it. I think quite a number of us have not paid attention to it. and he's not playing to a Ghanaian audience when he's out there. It needs to be an intentional thing. How often do we see Wiela back home jamming at, from place to place? Yeah. But she usually has a year-long booking from beginning of the year to the year ends. It's intentional. And when she's out there, we see videos sometimes. She's not playing to a local or a Ghanaian audience out there. Another reggae artist who's doing that for himself is Black Prophet. Yeah. Unfortunately, we fight very often. I tell Black Prophet that whatever he does out there, he should make sure that it's reported back home, so people know how well he's performing as an artist. You can't just there's no reggae show with maybe Sizzler or K-Potin or whatever in an area like Amsterdam in Europe without Black Prophet. It does not happen. Mm-hmm. But back home, quite a number of people don't know. Also, at
a Israeli concert, big crowd, and I saw Black Prophet on the stage.
He's there somewhere. This guy. And they have a lot of reverence for him. So it needs to be an intentional thing. But then again, for us, Charlie, it's always a matter of finance, and it's not just the music industry. You look at our film productions. You'd see a production from Nigeria and see what goes into it. Support from the big men in the country, support from corporate organizations in the country to even push them. Do we see that same thing here? So it starts with us. Are we content with having our music, on our radio and TV stations here? Like we say, being local champions. Do we make an effort to be seen out there? It needs to be intentional, Andy.
Yeah. If it's about finance,
it's part of it.
Okay, part of it.
It is.
In Jamaica, Mr. Logic is here. You've lived in Jamaica. Did they consider finance?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I think finance is part of the element, but it's not the main focus in Jamaica. If the song is good, it gets through. I think I want to start from how they curate the song before they even think about who will play it and how to promote it. The problem is not really the marketing. It's how the songs are made, the production. Because even with farm, the cash crop it starts from the farm before it gets to the exporter, before it gets to the international world. But in Ghana, Andy, I was listening to my brothers, and few points I made out of what they were saying. I think the songs, our song is the problem, not all the songs. We have song problem in Ghana. When you say music, it's element of so many things. It's songs and then beats. Then you say music, but composition. Let's talk about song. Let's put music aside and talk about song. We have songs problem. You spoke about Black Prophet and how he's on the big platforms. But the question is Black Prophet's reggae music big as Tyrus Riley's reggae music? How is Black Prophet reggae music accepted by the world? Okay. Aside the artist being given opportunity to be on a platform.
Good question.
Because when you have the plugs, you can be on any platform. But how is your song consumed? The song that you are giving out. I mean, if I know KOD, I can be on any big platform in Ghana because you plug me in.
Right.
So, but how is your product accepted by the people? That's where the problem is. So, this whole conversation, I think, Andy, we need to start looking at it from the song point of view, because one time, Charterhouse had a seminar. They brought Sony Music rep from Nigeria, and then they asked him that, how do we get our songs across the border? They asked the guy, and he said, songs. The songs.
Okay.
That's what the guy said. That's Sony rep. If the song is not good, regardless of how you promote it, it will get there, but it will still come back to you. Because the consumers, the international consumers they are different from the local, your local fan base and your local brothers and sisters who will keep telling you are good, you are good. These people listen to the music based on how the music is impacting on them. You understand? How are they relating to your song? Because songs like Kenny's song, the Ahunka that my guy referred to, it was big because the plug was huge. The influence of Kenny's made the song big in Nigeria. They didn't care about how they can relate. African Queen, Two-Face. I was in Jamaica that time. It was the biggest song in Jamaica. How did Kenny's do it? After plugging the song, now it was left with Jamaicans to relate. and they connected so much with the song before even the music.
Could it be the content?
That is what I'm coming to. That's what I'm coming to.
The content and the sonic quality.
Yes, that's what I'm coming to. Do you get me? So if Kennis was able to get a song to Jamaica and the Jamaicans couldn't find any traces of importance in the content, then what is this? I mean, what kind of song? They would dance okay, but they would not gravitate it for that much for the song to be that big. But the content of the song, the topic line, the melodies, look, they had no choice than just to accept it. That's how come it was big as it was. But then in Ghana, you see, and when you say song, they say if our song's no good, like how come people are playing it? People will play it, but then have you considered how you will get it to other people? Because your people, they will love you. So me, this issue, anytime it comes on board, from my perspective, you will say, oh, you always criticize songs. But our biggest problem is our songs. It's not how it's plugged. We have one of the we have almost all the digital platforms offices here in Ghana. We can say we have Spotify. I mean, Sadiq and crew are there. They do all the plugs, digital marketing. But then, how come we are still discussing how to get our songs across? How come? Because the material, when it gets to the people, it doesn't last. They listen to it and then that's it. But the Nigerians, look at Peru's Para. Andy, tell me, what does that song say? It says nothing. But the song has been able to find itself on the international market because of what I identify as a melody. No.
Before he
even jumped in the song.
It's a catchy melody. It has a
melody. I'm coming. Melody. Yeah. So you see, melody. The elements that make song gets to the people psychologically, we have not even considered it. So we were looking at having a song seminar. So we would try and help people to understand how to structure a song before you even think about music. Before Beat Menace and David and Co comes in to play beats for you, what you call music. We are looking at song seminar. Because Peru says nothing. Catch Me in San Francisco, it says nothing in the song. But the melody, catch on and the people.
Andy, if I may come in.
You know, yes. So let me land by saying that let's consider having our songs well structured with all the elements that makes a good song. I can give you all the elements that makes a good song. From raga to R&B to high life, even our high life songs, they are not well structured. Because it's true, they sing it anyhow. Listen to Flavor, Nigerian Flavor, Ashao. And they play the song from chorus to the end. And let me identify all the structures that made you love that song. It's not a beat or a Flavor's voice. They are part of the song, you don't even understand the language he's saying. But how the melodies are curated, it catches on you before you even consider to understand what he's saying. So that's some of the problem that we need to consider. Else we will discuss this every day. We won't find solution because the plugs that the people are plugging.
All right.
Andy, just before you, in my submission, I did mention something about artistic development. It's part of it. Because in our space, we don't recognize arrangers, writers, right? Lyricists, writers, composers.
Who did what?
Yes. Someone like Ibo Taylor, for instance. Ibo Taylor is a well-rounded artist. But I can assure you that Uncle Ibo's main stronghold, even before being a composer and a performer,
It's an arranger.
he's an arranger. So you'd be shocked at how different or how drastically different a composition can become when you work with the right people. Because music is, KOD mentioned something. He said it's the same, the issues we're discussing with music applies to film and whatnot. We have technical problems and creative problems in our space. Remember in my submission, I said foreigners come to Ghana, they take Ghanaian elements and they finesse it better than we do. It's because they have enhanced, they've developed the skill to express. You understand? That's why you can give a concept to somebody, but one person will finesse and express it better than the other can. And these are things that have to be taught. These are things that need to be learned. You understand? And we take it for granted. Somebody just sits in some corner somewhere, bangs some beats, everything 4/4 time. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Okay, Robert. Good morning.
So good morning. I just wanted to let me say something in connection with what Logic was saying. So from a purely marketing perspective, what I would say is that every song is an offering. It's a product offering. So just like the way, obviously, you have a product out there produced by a particular organization and they are selling, every song is a product offering. And you need to understand the makeup of the product and what is probably the leading element that is selling it. A music or a song is a composite product. So it just has been explained. So we have various components. And you have somebody probably giving you the instrumentals. And then you have lyrics. And then you have the melody that you're playing with. And then you have everything, the synergistic effect of the entire music and what it means to you, so to say. If we take this beat, my question is, when you produce music, when you produce a song, what is the offering that you're giving, or what is the lead?
When you compose a
when
song.
you compose,
Yes.
okay. So, for example, if you take this song, pam 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 pam, everybody's dancing to
As
it.
in the
and
music?
That particular music,
Yes.
you realize that it's a hit. But the question is, what is leading it? Is the instrumentation and how it sounds like, and the melody and everything about it that is working. Okay, when you take another song like Redemption Song, you don't remember the beat.
Yes.
All that comes to mind is melody.
Melodies.
And then the content, the lyrics,
Thank you.
the way it's been arranged, what it's saying. And then, but when you take another song, maybe a Kuduro song or something, all you hear are beats and the vibe and then the Jama aspect. So all I'm saying is, for every song that we produce, first of all, whoever is planning to sell the song must know what the lead or what the topmost of the offering is, so that you would know what the follow-up strategy is. Because if it's a dancing kind of song, you want to get your dance god Lloyd and co to be able to do some projects with it and put it on social media, get his 1.5 million people who are following him to be able to jump on it, to create a social media buzz, and it's out there on TikTok, etc., and it's working. But if it is about content and it's gospel, then you know that at the end of the day, people need to hear and understand the message. So therefore, you don't want to create any form of language barrier. If it's melody, then you know your melody can just go, whether it's it doesn't matter whether it makes sense. You focus on the melody aspect and you can cut through. So I think that one of the key areas in relation to understanding the makeup of the songs that we are creating, and the fact that we are being told to be authentic, which is actually also a big and huge deal that we have to focus on, and which the Afro beat actually gives us an opportunity to be able to express. When you put these things together, it helps us to be able to put things in the right perspective, to be able to lay the right grounds for promotion. Because if you don't understand what you have, then it becomes a bit difficult for you to be able to put it out there properly. So that is in that particular sphere, understanding the product offering that we have with respect to the music.
Hits 103.9 FM. We're having discussion on.
I was just going to say, it essentially doesn't mean that our songwriters are weak.
They are not weak. They are not.
Because I don't think they are.
They are not weak. Not all of them are open-minded.
And then there's a challenge when you get to a certain stage in your career. You're making waves. You're out there. You're established.
Yes.
And then if you have to go back to learn certain rudiments, it would be very hard for you.
That's very true. But I think
That's where the problem
And then it would be a challenge.
That's when the declining comes.
Yeah, exactly. Because listen to, especially like most rappers, right from the onset, they're coming in with so much fire. Once they become well known, once they become very established, they start toning down. They relax.
Yes.
At that point, how do you even change the narrative?
No, but KOD, I personally believe our songwriters are weak. I personally think so. Yeah, it's very, very weak.
Very weak.
And I'll explain why.
Yes.
I personally, when I work, the one thing I prioritize over everything else is artist development. If I work with an artist who is primarily a singer-songwriter, so that means they're a performer, they write their own songs, and maybe they play an instrument. These are three things or three areas that need development. And that takes time. It takes dedication. It takes patience, okay? And nurturing. Now, here's a crazy thing in Ghana. Anyone with a nice voice who wants to sing a song thinks they should write a song. That's very problematic.
I write my own songs.
Yes. And there's nothing wrong with finding people who specialize in just that area. Yes. You know what I mean? Because it's a dedicated field in itself. Some of the best songwriters are not performers.
Yeah.
You understand? And they are behind some of like the world's best records. Really.
Akwaboah wrote for many people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the name of this guy that did and you may Yabaji and Kojo Akwai?
Kojo Akwai, yeah.
I met with Kojo Akwai. We're having a discussion, and he said, and I'm not a performer. I'm not a performing artist.
But he studied in Juilliard.
Yeah.
Kojo Akwai studied in Juilliard.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, he and Joe Mensa.
Yeah, Joe Mensa, yeah.
That is
So he said, well, he does most of the writing and production, and then there's a guy that does the singing. I'm like, are you not the one singing? He says, no, I'm not the one singing. Like, really?
Yeah.
All this while?
Yeah.
But Andy, I think there's something we're also overlooking, right? We have to understand that the music industry has completely transformed, right? We're still looking at things in the old model. If you look at, I believe it's 2020, the last statistics that came out, 84% of the entire music industry revenue globally was gained from what? What do you think? Streaming, right? So if you have 4/5 of the entire music business coming from streaming, so, and Spotify of that takes about 40%, over 40% of the entire streaming revenue globally, right? You have to focus your efforts on understanding, how do I penetrate these streaming platforms? You have to understand how they work. They're very much, they're algorithmic, particularly with Spotify. So Spotify has a certain way that it will push you as an artist. You have to reach certain targets. You have to understand who you are marketing to. I mean, look, I produce music on a small wave for myself. Last year, I was listened to in over 168 countries. Ghana was probably 168th, if I look at the...
Whoa.
Yeah. Is it a thing? So hardly anyone listens to me in Ghana. My biggest market right now is Brazil, India, and United States.
You are kidding.
Is it a thing? So you have to understand, one, look, music is a product which naturally can cross boundaries, right? And I tell you, you can produce the worst, forgive me, trash, and you will find someone who loves it. Spotify alone, you have over 300 million subscribers who listen to music actively every month. Just imagine if you can just get 0.5% of that. That's 1.5 million people who listen to you every single month. You can make a career out of that. You see the thing? And we have Ghanaian artists. This is another thing. We have Ghanaian artists who are successful globally. But in Ghana, we don't pay them any mind. Look at someone like Fuse ODG. Look at someone like Moses Subney. Moses Subney performed at the BBC Proms last year at the Royal Albert Hall. I mean, how many artists get that opportunity?
He screened his latest project at Nubuke 3 days ago.
How many people in Ghana even know Moses Subney, that he's even a Ghanaian? I mean, the guy has talent. He's Ghanaian. The guy has talent at the level of Prince. You see the thing? He's so talented, but we are so myopic in our thinking as to what Ghanaian music is and what it should be.
Hold it right there. So it's good you've mentioned that someone who is such, someone who has too much knowledge or too much talent, known globally, but to his own people, not known. Recently, I was looking at something, a message KOD sent to me. I chanced on it earlier this morning because you sent something to me again yesterday. You sent me something and he said some Norman Cajun fee, the something group, honored for opportunity of working, I think, at the Grammys, the Grammy Awards. It was you, KOD, it was you that sent to me. And then the message you attached was, can you imagine this, a Ghanaian behind a lot of Grammy wins worldwide? And he said, and he did, Is it our fault or their fault? They are not bringing the music home. They are not presenting themselves home.
Andy,
Please let me finish my question, David. I'm using this, when I'm done with you, I'll go to Beat Menace because he is also in the same soup because he works with a group known as Santrofe. Big group.
Incredible.
Right?
That's just one of the. I'll get to.
I'm using them as an example. Right now, how come they are known out there but not known home? Is it our fault? Are we not doing our research, or they're supposed to bring it to us?
It's
Because if
awful.
I'm looking for Auntie Muniwachi, I will not go to Auntie Muniwachi. Auntie Muni, if I go to that joint and Auntie Muni didn't cook on that day, I won't get food to eat.
Right.
I'd rather go and get some banku or watch it from Rockstone, right? But once I go and Auntie Muni is present, voila, watch it is present. So don't you think they must rather bring it to us?
And do you think they haven't tried?
Have they?
Oh, they have tried.
How
The
many of
point
us
is-
know the guy's name?
No, the point is, if you are trying to bring yourself home, and you're being rejected.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the whole world is celebrating you. Will you focus on still trying to push yourself in Ghana? And look at
Then
when
how?
I was driving
In that
here,
case, how are we myopic as a
No,
people?
when I was
then
driving
you cannot
here-
blame the other
No,
Ghanaian.
when I was driving, let me
Yeah,
just
finish
make a
it.
point. You were talking about the football, and you had callers calling in. 80% or 90% of them were so negative. They've already given up on the Black Stars. Right? How do you expect the Black Stars to perform well? Right? We don't celebrate our... Even... We should be able to celebrate our failures. You understand? In that, whether something is successful or not, if we don't make noise about it and say that this thing is great, because if Moses comes and nobody's even paying mind to him, how do you expect other people from outside to say, oh, there's something good from Ghana? You sort of thing. We have to make the noise. We have to support our own. You go to a show, you go to a show in Ghana, everybody's sitting down looking at the artist.
I can't stand
The
that.
same way.
Everyone's looking, and how do you think the artist will feel? You sort of think that same artist can go to a show in America, and they haven't even heard you before. As soon as they put on the music, they're jumping up and down, they're cheering you, because they went to that show to enjoy themselves. They paid money to enjoy themselves. You see, and they will bring that energy. But I don't know, as Ghanaians, we need to be able to be proud of who we are and stop putting ourselves down. It seems to have become, especially with social media, it has become the norm to
Yeah,
troll,
you need to be trolled.
to pull whoever's trying to.
Like there's a problem with everything one does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us celebrate ourselves, whether it's top notch, whether it's not quite there yet. The only way we can really get up there is to keep pushing, keep celebrating, keep encouraging ourselves.
David, I may not agree entirely with you, especially with this example, because here is someone who's not known zero. No one knows him around here. I'm very sure. It
No,
will
I actually
take.
found out only last year.
You-
Because
you-
there was so
you-
much
you understand?
promo for the BBC proms.
Uh-huh.
You know Quabs.
Yes, of course.
Quabs is Ghanaian.
Right.
You know Benjamin Clementine.
I know.
He's Ghanaian. In 2020, I had the privilege of engineering live Moses' first show ever in Ghana. Do you know what he told me? He was shocked at the reception. We had it at Nobuke Foundation, East Legon.
He came down.
He's in town now.
Okay.
As I speak, he's in Accra. He screened his latest full-length project 3 days ago at Nobuke again. It's online. In 2019, he visited me in my studio. I mean, he lived on the Spintex Road. It's someone I know personally. Phenomenal artist. We are myopic as a people.
But you
Right?
know, I'd have a challenge here, Bet.
I'm coming.
I also have a
I
serious
have
challenge.
I have a challenge here, Bet.
I have a serious
I mean,
challenge.
because you can't be that prominent and be back home and no one knows.
I have a
Come on,
serious
there's
challenge.
someone who does some work with you.
Andy, I support you 100%.
You know, I mean, come
You can't
on.
be myopic.
Because I don't
And that's what I was saying earlier about Black
Publicity
Panther.
is
He's
key.
out
We
there
need to be
doing so
able to
much.
share the
Let me tell
information.
you, like in the fashion space, for instance, someone like Oswald Watson sees
Right.
no need to have a shop in Ghana.
No, that's
Do you understand?
well.
That's bad.
Do you understand? And
Yes,
they think
yes
they're
and
making
no.
waves outside, and Ghana is too small for them. For some of them, do you understand? That's it.
It's easy.
I mean, we don't have to digress from the essence of this conversation.
Yeah.
of
Right.
Getting our music out there, because this one is from out coming in. Do
Right.
you understand? But come on, some of these things we need someone to know.
Yeah.
Someone needs to know.
know
should
Ryan
Andy
Benson?
know that he's in town?
You know Rian Benson.
Yes, Ryan.
When Rian Benson was making waves back then, she came to town, distributed her CDs. People won't play it. Oh, now say we did Ghana music. A couple of years ago, Ayisoba he performed on the same stage, I think, 2 to 3 acts later, the Rolling Stones performed. Not a single media entity reported it in Ghana.
Does he have a publicist?
There should be an
coming to
intention.
that.
Answer my question. No, wait a minute, please.
No,
Please,
you guys, easy.
No, hold on. Excuse me. You see, these are
must also research.
no. You see,
Dusty.
no. Excuse
Andy
me.
Dusty.
No, excuse me. Kofi, please.
So it's not with the
Please.
publicists that will
You-
bring
no,
the news.
that's not it. Kofi, Logic.
Yes.
You may not even know what I had done.
No, I'm not talking about you.
No, I'm saying
some
no,
media
not
personality.
me as
Yeah.
a media personality.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is my achievement.
Sure.
Until someone who knows me can tell you that, hey, do you think Andy Dusty is just the guy that you see there,
Yeah.
or do you think that David Bolton? Do you think he's such an ordinary individual? Do you know he did this, that? Probably he's not even. There's no even catalog. There's nothing
show.
around him to show or to tell you or to. There's nothing. We don't even put stuff out there. And so you are telling me about Rolling Stones, even where I sit. I mean,
Andy, I know
About this
land yet.
ISO, but-
I know land yet. This is a two-way street, right? I am speaking for and against. Why? Because both ends have to do their job.
Right.
good.
Yeah.
All the major foreign press covered Santrophy. I personally sent links and stuff to people I know in the Ghana space who are in media. The only person who published first was Rudy Kwachi. This is a group that has topped the world charts 4 times. It's a joke. It's a circus. Let's call it as it is.
I reached
Let me
out to
see.
them personally
Listen,
on social
very
media.
Listen, I know that.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I was the one who actually even responded.
Okay.
This
You
media
see,
inability.
I mean, until you told me about them, I didn't even know. I had not even heard about
I know.
them.
Now, even speaking about that, do you know the number of times somebody has introduced me? Hey, Kofi, he did, but his best, like here, Santrophy. I don't know if you heard them, but because it's a Ghanaian band, and at some point, they were around a bit, and I got a bit of, and then I'm speaking to the person, and oh wow, you speak so well. You sound really educated. Why? Because I work with a high life band. Are you kidding me? And that's supposed. Listen. Yes, and you see, that's the mentality. You know what I mean? So that in itself is problematic, and the person is literally telling you this as a compliment.
The Ghanaian.
How insulting! Oh yeah. Oh, you speak so well. You sound really articulate. So
Isn't
It's
it?
not insulting. It's not insulting.
No.
I
But
think
hold on.
just
I think it's a colloquial thing.
no.
The reverence that was never given to creatives from back in the day. Somehow it lingers on to
Mr.
today.
Mary said something about
Yeah.
songwriting.
Yes.
I teach songwriting a lot. In fact, one of my well-known in this space songwriting students is actually King Promise.
Oh, really?
Yes, I taught King Promise songwriting and vocal training for 3 years, 2011 to 2013. One of the key things I realized, I wasn't born in Ghana. I moved in Ghana in my teens. I never learned to speak any, excuse me, my parents didn't raise us to speak any local language. When we came to Ghana, we were forced to learn it. So I have a very analytical mind. When it comes, my mom is Fanti, my dad is Bono, Ashanti tree everywhere, Gan here, you understand? And I was taught Ikwapim tree.
When boy.
I they tell you. And he feel free. That's exactly where I'm from. Now, the crazy thing about it is that helps me in my songwriting. When I'm teaching songwriting students, I want you to use your lingua franca, your first language, your mother tongue, right? The funny thing is our languages are so evolved and so potent. It's a shame we rubbish it. If you take an everyday phrase in tree like ma'adimpanchi, if you translate it literally to English, it's instant poetry. It's like Japanese haiku. You understand? Something like minikum, mekoda, I go bed, minikum, I'm sleepy. My eyes are killing me.
That's
For you to express yourself in short form, in such a potent, effective manner in English, do you know the years of training and skill you need to develop? You need to understand syntax, construction, structure, conjugation. Is ridiculous that till now we have embodied that mentality of, oh, don't speak vernacular here.
Do they still do this?
And that's another reason.
Yeah, in schools.
On Ghana Twitter is very toxic because a lot of people have emotions they have kept within themselves. They know they feel express. So you slack, no.
YouTube.
You they hide behind some cell phone. I mean, come on, man. Listen, all of us here, with the way we drive in Ghana, you know, if you tell me, say, Andy, say, you they drive we some Trotsky driver do some nonsense driving we.
You know, go give to him.
Me, I stop in front of them.
You they speak very good English, but you want insult them to your heart's content. Thank you. You go collect. You will give to him. That in itself is a problem. And here's a funny thing, bro. And here's the funny thing: music is the one true universal language, because everybody in this room at least sings the lyrics of some language or a song that they don't have an idea about. You understand? So if you yourself, I mean, we don't develop the skill to express, how do you expect our music to go far?
So back to the Santrophy thing. Do you blame us as a people, or you blame the bands or the art?
But
the talent?
Who are the talents? Who are the bands? They are also the people.
With Santrophy,
no, I'm talking about the talent. Yes, just a second. So he's a two-way thing, but he's rather addressed the people.
I don't even want him to answer it because he works with them.
No. I mean,
I want him to hit on them because he works with them. So I want him to address it fully. That it's a two-way thing. You've discussed the people. How about the talent?
There was a reason I worked with Santrophy. There was a reason. These are guys I've known since forever. Some of them had been there, done that individually. We came together. Everybody leave your ego at the door. We are building from scratch. Okay? There was a reason I recorded the album the way I did. And I can say probably it's the first time maybe in close to 30 years that an album was made like that. I recorded to tape. Pro Tools HD and tape. Mixed and mastered to quarter range.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Some of the reverb you hear on the horns and stuff. Some of the microphones I use for some of those horns are from the 1930s, Nazi era. To get that sound, to capture a moment in time, to make a statement. Do you know the number of people? I'm coming.
How do you think?
No. You know what I'm thinking? You can get these sound effects to get that same effect. No,
it's not the same.
It's
not the same.
So how different was it? Then what at all did you get?
Analog.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I work with the best cutting edge digital equipment, and I have equipment that goes back to the 1930s. Why? Because they are tools. You won't use a spade for the job a rake is meant to do. Right? Now, here's the thing. My job.
You could achieve the same thing.
I agree with you. We can't.
No.
You want?
No, listen. It's fulfillment for a creative person. That's what it is, Andy. It will never make sense to an ordinary person.
No.
That's what it is.
Yes and no.
Yes.
For certain things, I need a sonic footprint in a certain ballpark,
Right.
and I use digital tools that do the same thing. Okay, between you and I, right? My final decision to work in tape, I recorded it digitally, high-end digitally on a Pro Tools HD system on a huge, large format console, analog desk. And I used tape emulation plugins from a company known as UAD, Waves. They supposedly make the best tape digital emulation of it, right? And I had, one of my 2 tracks. It was out of boredom. I said, you know what, let me bust it out there.
Real to real and all.
Real to real. Listen, for me, what I heard was night and day. There's a reason why, you see, there's a thing about immediacy, portability, and cost. But that doesn't mean it's the same. Okay? But the question is, what's the disparity between the differences between the two? Is it a risk you're willing to take to pay that much money to waste 2 additional weeks for something that would have just taken you 3 days? That's relative. It's a personal choice. Now, back to working with them. There was a deliberate intention. I mean, if you've listened to from the very first introduction on the Santrophy album, there's a Akan practice known as Edna. It's the precursor to the battle rap. It's something we've had for centuries. Where it's currently the Eastern Bloc of Ghana used to have a tradition where linguists would meet and battle out with words.
Yes.
You understand? So a guy called Fapempong comes from a long line of that tradition, and he does this whole appellation thing with the Santrophian Omar, and the sound design you hear. We went as far as even creating the mythical bird, like hyper realistic 3D, that was supposed to be projected. But, that's a different discussion entirely. Now, the high life motif that is in the public space today is like two. You have the Yam Ponsa, the palm wine, and, but there are like 7 different motifs that technically form high life. And the 5 remaining ones are nearly totally extinct. You have the Sichi, you have the Odonson, you understand, you have Kwao, you have all those ones. And the album actually literally explores all those possibilities and even goes as far as not being stuck in a time loop. If you listen to songs like Africa, it makes it progressive. So it's literally, you're hearing elements of rock, funk, Afrobeats, but the DNA is high life. So that album was literally a statement to say, like, listen, we can't lose certain elements that form the core of our culture. You understand? So it was an exercise that, we intend to expand upon, because, that was the only time, personally, I had to be intentional with doing something from end to end to put out a product like that. Everything I've done, field recordings, I travel around Ghana recording all sorts of rhythms and melodies, and you'd be mind blown. Listen, among the airways alone, I personally have documented as many as 125 unique drum patterns within the air tradition.
In the Volta.
Yes.
Right. Hits 103.9 FM. We're having discussion on our music. Why our music is always around here and is still not crossing borders. Stay with us. We'll be right back. When we come back, is it our fault? What have we done? What is wrong? We are now scratching. We scratched the surface. We have just a few minutes to go. Surface in Puni. We have to get. I think we need part 2 of this. We need part 2 of this conversation.
Culture policy.
Another thing we have not looked at.
That's
right?
Something, yeah.
Something but I think that's an extensive conversation. The culture, culture.
Yeah. No, we don't understand culture.
Culture.
No, we don't understand culture capital, so it hasn't informed a very practical cultural policy that basically polices everything that has to do with culture, because the easiest way of selling culture is through music. Music and food is the amalgamation of the entire experience of any people. Exactly.
Multimedia.
It's the entire amalgamation of the human experience of a people at any given point in time. So like you were saying, someone made an example about Year of Return, a lot of people coming in. If all these foreigners keep coming in, because a lot of our artists do not work with international booking agencies, for instance. When these people are in town, if they are listening to their own music when they are here, what music are they taking back?
What was my conversation? I started talking about this years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've been saying this years
Here's the
ago.
thing, and it's crazy because I can assure you that everyone in this room today, Charlie, we can all believe that music is a spiritual thing. When you experience something lovely, something really nice, something pleasant, right? Your senses pick up information.
The first time I heard Down by the River, I was in tears. I cried for like an hour.
You know what I mean? So these guys are coming to Ghana. They've tasted Kinky for the first time, and that person, for whatever reason, feels is the best thing ever in life. And it be Jay-Z they play.
Yeah.
Is locked in his senses forever. Anytime he hears Jay-Z, he remember Kinky.
Yeah, remember Ghana.
Stay
We
with
need to
us.
be intentional. We need to be intentional.
Let's go and come back. When we come back, your messages will be read. Abraham Wainijan, good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Hey, Fifi Rash, good morning. Well, who else is listening? AJ Nelson, good morning to you. Right. Oh, Pee-wee sends his regards.
Hey.
Beatman is. All right. We'll be right back. Now, growing concerns. I was at a party not long ago. Ministers, a lot of people. Honorable Mark Kumanti was even there. Can you imagine? I did everything. The people sat down. I played the guy that contracted me came and asked, Charlie, Andy Dusty. Charlie, it is Andy Dusty. The people are sitting down. Hey, Charlie, Andy, you of all people.
He goes spoiling new shoe.
So, hey, Charlie. Then a lady walked to me and said,
She had to say to you,
she came to
She
me,
had to request.
yes, and told
for
me
you
that,
to play what she wants to hear.
Andy, listen, Kofi Kinata was there. He also performed that night. I was there with DJ Perfect, Candyman Jr. I had invited them all with me. The lady told us, she told me, Andy Dusty, ya nyom ni yeti ya bre se wa mo Nigeria nyuma. Ya mesau. Bo Peru, bo what? She gave me like three of, yes. In fact, Peru was the first song she mentioned. And then she gave me like 3 or 4 Nigerian songs. Well, DJ. Then people kept coming. Another one came. One man will be a playlist. I want the phone so I'm like, hey, it's me in the air right there. And all of these
that should never happen to you.
Oh, but you are telling me what to play. In this case, I'm forced to do it. And now Nigerian songs, about 19 of them, selected all on his phone. And Odiama Arabian or Diaby Jamin. This is, I don't want to mention this is a minister who had selected these songs. Or they are Sumasi and Famremi.
No, but
or say honorable say.
Andy, Patrick,
Let
me finish.
I know where you're going, Andy. You don't have to extend it.
Hey.
Where does a minister get to hear music? Or a minister, but where?
Radio and streaming.
Well, maybe
I mean, there's some streaming, yes, but mostly where? Yeah, but you can't be a minister and not listen to the radio stations because you need to listen to what's happening on radio.
Yeah.
But what are radio stations playing?
Good. Back to this issue of
Exactly.
So is it? So my question is this:
Tell him, like the
it-
media is also part of it. Though.
Yeah, the media. No, it's good. You've even mentioned the media.
The media
because
is
I
a
didn't
major part of it.
No, hold on, Kofi. I didn't even want to go there since you've mentioned it. Is it the people? Is it the consumers?
No, but
Or it is what the media is feeding
it is
them?
the media. I think we've lost what the essence of the media
It's
is.
the feedback loop.
We're
That's
supposed
the
to
thing.
inform, entertain, and educate.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Do you understand? So that entertainment element, what we give them is what they consume.
That's it.
Back in the day when we had only a Sovodazi, then I'll be TBM, then I'll be share.
Oh, no, bro.
And or bra later. Do you understand? So essentially, it starts with what the media does. Back then, Andy, when we started Sorio, we had something called log sheets.
Right.
Whenever you went on radio, you write every song,
yeah.
and you didn't even have the right to play 2 songs from an artist. You had to give equitable space for everyone to shine. And then there's proper program segmentation from morning to evening. Not everyone coming on and playing.
KOD. You see, Andy, you see, just
No, I can't. No, I want us to take it one by one.
Yeah,
So, Kikori, are you done?
Well, I was just
Right. Logic, please.
Yeah. I also want to blame the media because my experience in Jamaica, how they get their songs played on radio. Most presenters are given playlists.
Right.
When you come on radio, RAFM, they give you playlist of songs you should play.
Please use the mic
because,
if you can.
because their royalty system works. They give you playlists for the week. That this week, this is what you should play.
Promotion.
Yes, promotion. So when you take the songs to the DJs, it's either they queue you for in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks ahead. They cannot just play you instantly. But in Ghana, you can just walk into a radio station, drop your song for a DJ, and there's no playlist. He just plays what he likes. So I think it's part of the problem, getting the song across to the people. The media plays a major role. Robert was prompting on the DJs. It's very serious. We have DJs union. I think Mercury should help to put the DJs in order. See, a DJ Ghanaian DJ plays anything. He doesn't listen. He plays anything that meets his BPM. You understand?
That's also part of the problem.
Yes, because the Nigerians have this progression that if you take a Fireboy or 3 Nigerians, they have the same progressions. And the songs,
not 3,
about 5, 10, 15 of them. And the songs are in such, let me talk about the songs, composed in a way that if you take Fireboy, you play a love song for Fireboy, you can get another one from Tenny, the same progression, the same topic line. So the DJs find Nigerian music more appealing than the Ghanaian songs. Ghanaian song like, I don't want to call Ghanaians brands, but let me just use the general word Ghanaian songs. So I think the media should be oriented. Seriously, Andy. It's either you provide playlists for DJs or you control what they play. Else, this will not stop.
Is it controllable?
Hold on. Back in the day, right? Back in the day, people felt very good to. Okay, I felt very good whenever Bradford went on stage and said, "Oh, Kofi was the first person that ever played my music." There was something about it, you know. That ownership of music that's from Ghana and knowing that you've contributed to make it what it's become. Then again, there are also certain DJs who would say, "Oh well, these boys once they become whatever, they
don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't even have that respect for me." I mean, I've seen DJs who have a certain relationship with brothers from Nigeria. They would call every now and just check on them. That kind of relationship.
Redash.
And they believe these are all, elements that account for why they don't get the kind of airplay that we're supposed to give them, our own local people back home, because they think they've arrived. When I worked on Star FM, there were many times you'd tweet and you'd get someone who's from a different country
To retweet.
retweeting the song, where you play for Amo, but your local guy wouldn't.
He's busy doing something else. David, please come in.
God bless.
It needs to be intentional,
God
and it needs to be a win-win situation.
Yeah, sure.
From the musician side, from the
DJ.
person, the DJ, we need to decide that this is where we're
Need to
going.
be deliberate, both of them.
You're
Serious.
right. You're right. You're absolutely right. But then, you see, it is what it is now, and it's not going to change overnight.
But we have to
right?
change it, David.
We have to change it. But then the discussion we're having is why we are not breaking into the international market, right? And I believe that because we're not focusing on the international market. You see the thing? There are a few artists who are doing that. If you take King Promise, for instance, if you look at his streaming numbers, he's doing extremely well. You see the thing? Kiddy is doing very well. You see, and you have to understand that, look, there is a way to market now digitally, right? TikTok is one of the leading ways at the moment to have a viral hit,
Right, yes.
right? Because of TikTok, Touch It has over 30 million streams on Spotify. You see the thing? Because of that, you see, and obviously it's part of their marketing plans they have. But there's a conscious effort to focus on the international audience.
No, but the artists you mentioned are actually affiliated or signed to international bodies. Kiddy's with Empire, King Promise
Exactly.
with Sony RCA.
Which just bolsters my point.
Yeah.
There's an intentional effort to go international.
Right.
You see the thing. So you can't sit here and expect that we'll blow up. You have to again. I know we don't like talking about the Nigerian artists, but you take the big Nigerian artists. How often are they sitting in Nigeria? No. They spend the majority of their time outside in the States, in Europe, promoting because they know that that's where the market is. How much money are you going to make in the Ghanaian market?
David.
Yes,
Still move up.
even with the population. Because look, if you look at Spotify streams in Nigeria, they pay a fraction of how much those same streams pay in America. Because they charge different rates. So a Spotify stream in Ghana or Nigeria is probably less than half the value of a stream in the States. So they know that they should be focusing in those areas, the prime areas. The other thing. And so I think until we do that and realize that it takes money, you see the thing, it takes serious money to promote a song. Look, to promote a single properly, you need, globally, you need anywhere from $500,000 to $1.5 million just to promote one single. You see the thing. We're where are we here?
That was part of my earlier submissions.
Yeah. Where are we? So
the funding.
The funding is key. It's
Funding.
key. We can assume that yes, the music should be up to standard, right? It should be intentional, but without the promotion, without the links, to know that okay, if I want to promote my song in England, I need to find who are the key players in England when it comes to, promotion, when it comes to getting media attention and all of those things. It's vital, and we're kind of just playing and hoping that something will blow up. Occasionally it does, very occasionally. But those artists that have longevity, past a one-hit wonder, there's a strategy behind it, a long-term strategy.
There is.
Big Menace,
Yes. A lot of things have been said.
you also mentioned that you blame the media.
Oh yes. I blame the media, but you see, it's like I keep saying, it's a catch-22. I blame the media because the media is a powerful tool. Media has the power to shape the thoughts, the tastes of people, even without their permission. Right? That's a lot of power. However, it is no secret that media entities in Ghana make money primarily through advertising. So if over time people have been conditioned to want a particular sound to meet their targets to make money, right? They need to satisfy that market. so clients can advertise on their platform. It's a catch-22. However, I'm trying to see this from both perspectives, right? The solution to almost any problem we face in Ghana can be boiled down to regulators. Okay?
Yes.
KOD mentioned something about logging. Mr. Logic said something about the royalty system and all that, right? It is one of the bylaws of the NCA. They give you a license to broadcast. You are supposed to have a library. You're supposed to have a librarian who maintains a library that gives it to a programs person, so on and so forth, right? Now, even they talk about DJs. There used to be a chain of command. You had DJs who broke artists.
Yeah, they broke records.
You had club DJs.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
This is something no one addressed in the conversation. You see, you understand
No,
what I'm saying?
KOD mentioned.
You did.
You even
So I
mentioned that
missed it.
Bravo
I missed
would
it.
go on stage and
Right. No, actually you did.
referred to Area FM in Jamaica. How
You
do
know,
do it?
Yeah.
but you know, I just had to like really break it down to like the core elements to see that. You see, in every industry, I don't believe we have an industry. What we have, the closest thing I can liken it to is a scene, right? Every industry has elements.
I'm going through what you was. I like it to a scene.
No, it is. No, it's the truth. It's the truth. Because it's like the domino effect, okay? Point A, point B, point C. Everyone is reliant on the other. It's the sum of its parts, right? Even on the technical level. David Bolton mentioned something really, really important about the cost of promotion and how important it is. Now, in the digital space, you can cheat to some extent. You may not achieve the same level of success, but one of the easiest way, listen, look at even NFTs and all these new proprietary digital opportunities that are emerging right now, right? Just 2 weeks ago, a prominent Ghanaian artist sent their song. I'm using their so that I won't say if it's a woman or a guy. I listened to the song. I heard the insignia or the signature of the person who produced it. And I asked the artist, who produced it? The artist mentioned the producer. And I said,
Was
who
it the
mixed
same person you heard?
Yes. Who mixed it? They mentioned the producer. They mentioned the person who mixed it. Who mastered it? They mentioned the person who mastered it. I said this track was mastered from an MP3 file. The artist was shocked. It was on a conference call with their manager. How are you able to tell? I said I can hear it. If me here in Obi Mansu can hear it, where
How
do you want
much
it to
more?
go? You're crazy.
Listen,
You see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Standards exist, right? They are global standards. I'll give you a classic example. One of the easiest ways for you to sell your music to different parts of the world globally and make a chunk of money that would pay you better than streaming and stuff whatever do, right? Is through synchronization and licensing. Games and stuff. Somebody in Mexico will play your game. Do you know they have technical standards to meet before they even use your music for film? The music we put out from Ghana, generally, the technical term is too hot. It's overcompressed. It's too loud. It's thin. It's harsh. Right? When you don't meet those technical standards, they'll reject it. So even if you were smart enough to find the right people to plug you in those spaces, technically you will fall short.
A word Ghanaians don't want to hear.
And that's why I keep saying we don't have an industry, because
Let's
it's
get
the
technical.
sum.
Like that word.
It's the sum of its parts. You know, it's crazy. So we need to be intentional. When even you see, there's a creative aspect, there's the business aspect, there's the technical aspect, right? Then of course, there's a thing I said about us not really understanding what culture capital is. We don't have a proper cultural policy, at least in practice, which polices media entities and all that stuff. So I mean, it's like the wild wild west here.
Right, I see. Franco Trading Enterprises, your leading mobile phone accessories and electronic retail outlet. We stock items such as iPhone, Samsung, Nokia, smart TVs ranging from 32 to 55 inches, tabletop fridges, all other mobile phone brands and accessories from all our shops nationwide at a discounted price. Download the Franco Trading app on Play Store. Visit www.francotrading.com. Call 0246 422 338 or 055 593 9311. Franco Trading Enterprise. Still. Phone Papa Fieria. Today you've not spoken. Please get closer. Robert, please come in. As well as Martinez. I've not heard from you. So, would you also blame the media or the consumers?
Okay, so quite a number of things comes to bear when you want to talk about promotion. The first one is, yes, to a certain extent, I'll blame the media. To a certain extent, I also blame the artists and their managers, because at the end of the day,
they are not
responsible for it.
They are not. The artist is not part.
No, music.
Oh, not the music. So one music. Now, so get the music. They are doing nothing. Mr. Logic,
I know. See, Andy, when it comes to the music consumption matrix, so to say, let me just break it down. Push and pull. All right. So pull is what you, the consumer, wants to listen to, and you have your streaming platforms to be able to listen to whatever you want, or you have your own music in your car or in your house, you listen to what you want. That is yours, your decision making. Then we have the push. Basically, it falls under decisions being made for you to listen to. So somebody makes a decision on the radio station in terms of what they want to play, they're pushing it. If you go to a party, you don't have a say in what is being played, they're pushing it. DJ at nightclub or the roadside or wedding, whatsoever. Somebody is making a decision about who should listen to what music. What I'm saying is that when it comes to yours, I mean, what you want to listen to, yeah, you have your own money, you have your streaming platforms, you go and listen to it, and that's what we all see. But when people are making a decision for you, making a decision for the country, making a decision that creates a culture of the kind of music you should listen to, at the end of the day, it creates something we call, or let's just say it conditions you to listen to that kind of music. That conditioning is the reason why what the DJs play is very important to us. If they keep playing foreign songs, which used to be the case in the past when we had a lot of American songs happening here, then it was quite difficult for us to even listen to our local songs, because, you know, the progression, it took quite some time for us to be able to change over or adjust or be able to even accept our local music. So all I'm saying is the conditioning that's happening right now has a lot of mix from foreign music, and we need to be able to take that out. If in fact, it's not even just about the foreign music that is in there. The other aspect is the type of music. I was listening to 3 days ago. I intentionally took Daku Vibes songs. I was listening to it, and then I heard so many songs from Daku Vibes I have never heard on the radio.
Mad.
And I was like, wow. So why aren't we listening to some of these slow tempo songs in the afternoon? Because whenever we say slow tempo songs at night or afternoon whatsoever, like sometimes all I hear is bish 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 from morning till evening. And I'm like, do we just listen to one genre of music in this country? Is this the only thing that we play? Bish 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 from morning, and then it continues, and it's the same set of, like, one DJ comes for a particular program, the next DJ that comes plays the same set of songs, the third DJ plays the same, like, Charlie, where's the variety? And so I was asking myself, over 40 songs, and having heard enough of these, you listen to the Sina Souls, you listen to Adine's album. There are so many lovely songs on it, and I'm like, songs serve different purposes. How come we are getting just that one main offering? Like, we need to hear these things. We need to hear most of these songs being played so we can appreciate. Because look, we need to be able to go to shows and not go and jump. We need to be able to go to a show and sit down and watch an artist perform from beginning to end without cheering, and then at the end of the show we get up and clap. So there's not like I was at a show and nobody was jumping. No, it's not every time you go there and sit there. No, sometimes we just want to hear music. We want to hear instruments play. We want to be able to hear. you understand? We want to hear vocal range, vocal dexterity being displayed. But if we are not getting that conditioning, they'll create the music. But at the end of the day, if it's not being pushed by those who play the music, it's not going to condition us to even want it. Right. You understand? So that's one of the areas. I have other things, but Charlie, let's
My boss Joe Anim says, Andy, I want you to read this on air. How I wish you can have a panel like this every morning. Oh wow, interesting. Joe Anim. Oh, you know Joe Anim, man? Right. Ria.
Yes, I think throughout everything we've said, the main key word has been intentionality, being intentional with our music. And I've been saying this all the time, and I would like to reiterate the fact that we should put entertainment business in our educational curriculum, because at the end of the day, that will help us project the good brands or the quality of music we would like to churn to the rest of the world. And people should be willing to invest in themselves and basically invest in yourself and put out good material so that we also be recognized. I even broke the intentionality into 3: preservation, protection, and promotion. I think that is one, like the thing we have to live by right now, because at the end of the day, if we do not have that, we'll still be in. I think we've said so much about this topic. It's beginning to sound like, okay, so when do we take the first step? And I just hope that whatever has been said here, people would listen and they take it to good faith and work on it.
Quick question though, Andy.
Yeah.
Radio stations, we pay royalties, do we? Don't we?
Yes.
So if we keep playing foreign songs, where's the money going to?
It goes to
Gabriel collects on behalf
of them, and then they will come and
doesn't
take
that
it.
affect?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so then it simply affects our economy. And if at the end of the day we are giving a lot of business to people who are not really here, like it's like you're looking at your Ghanaian musicians and saying, I'm giving the business to somebody else. Because anytime I play music,
What's happening?
that is for somebody else. You are saying that, look, the opportunity like the Ghanaians should not benefit. That's what you are literally saying. And that simply means our industry, which others are saying does not exist, but I beg to differ, it exists. Yeah, some people are saying it's an industry that needs structures, yes. It will never grow. It won't expand. We are talking about we don't having money.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if the DJs are not even playing the song, Charlie.
Tomorrow we will continue. Martinez, please have your say. Tomorrow, gentlemen,
I have a closing remark here, please. Before you
the Martinez, yes,
we are.
Is it about music?
It's about music, of course.
No one here.
No, I'm interested in the music. Andy.
Music, I say they don't make
Martinez, please come in.
They can't even find
Yes.
Yes, on 14th October last year, Kwame Eugene urged Ghanaians to use more Ghanaian content for their TikTok videos. So, meaning that as an artist, he's realized we are not, helping the local artists by using most of, foreign content, especially Nigerians. So, I want to urge everyone that whenever we are doing videos on TikTok, we need to use more of the local content, especially the Ghanaian songs, because it will help boost, Simi's song Duduke was made a hit through TikTok, as well as Rema, Bounce and Co. So once we use Ghanaian songs on TikTok, it's really going to help promote them and boost them as well. And then Davido also in an interview congratulated Nigerians in the diaspora for pushing and helping promote Nigerian songs worldwide. That brings to the question, are people in other countries, the diaspora, what are they also doing to support Ghanaian music? The promoters, the DJs, how well are they oriented to push Ghanaian music outside? Ghanaians are everywhere. Malta, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, you have Ghanaians there. When Kwame Eugene's song, when Kiddy Can Promise, Jackie and Co, when they release, how well do they also, push for those songs out there like the way Nigerians are doing? Clearly, once we do that, that is also going to help. And then Burna Boy has taken Black Sheriff along, promoting him on various platforms. I think it's high time our artists, the top brands, also do same. Like Wizkid also did for Can Promise and Co. When our top stars have opportunity elsewhere, across Ghana or international platform, I believe when they take promising artists along and also give them those opportunities, it will help project our image and our songs there. Like Banky W did for Wizkid in 2012, yeah. David also did for Mayor Kunye. I believe our artists can do same. Those artists with a big, length and opportunity, when they are going, they should also take the promising ones along.
But they've been doing it, some have been doing it. I mean, we've seen Stoneboy pick Kelvin Boy. Samini picked Kinata. He picked Stoneboy. Shatta had these militants. Who else? I mean, quite a number of them have done
international
it.
platforms.
And I also like to.
Oh, now then, they've been
That's what
taking
I'm
them
saying.
along.
International platforms, like
Some of them,
like the old.
Some of them are doing well.
So we should do more. Like the old two Arenenko, when they are
Some of them are doing
acts,
well.
promising acts. That's what I'm talking about.
I think sometimes they bash it too much.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to commend them, the ones that are doing well. Let's also give them some fans. But tomorrow, I want us to continue with this conversation. I'm trying to get the media to defend it. And then Gamro.
Andy, let me make my closing.
Oh, make closing my music as India.
I'm wondering what.
No. I beg. No. Masa. Don't derail
There's
the
a problem at
conversation.
music guy. We need to bring.
Don't digress. Don't digress. Mr. Logic. Mr. Logic. How does Musica come in this conversation?
They need to help in this administration.
She's asking
If it doesn't President cried. That is why I want to bring them in.
For what?
Because one of the candidates has an agenda. We need to help them.
Mr. Logic. Leadership.
Make a change.
Leadership.
Andy, let me just
Once the head is chopped off,
there's a new head. The former head is chopped
shifts.
off. The former head.
If you don't know.
The former head is chopped off. There's a new head. Let's push that head in.
Where is new head? Are they not supposed to be going to elections?
Andy,
Now it's being postponed indefinitely.
So where's the leadership?
Indefinitely.
Yeah.
So what are you
if you
saying?
will give me a chance to explain, you
Please,
understand.
let's not waste time on
Senior
this.
man, there's something that I've noticed that certain DJs have brought to my attention as well. We are talking about Ghanaian music crossing borders. Even at our parties, it doesn't cross anywhere. They are now playing Nigerian music. In fact, DJs,
But that was what I was saying. Okay, it seems you were out.
they give you a plaplaylist and it's Nigerian music.
one.
But that was what I said. They need to be-
Okay, yeah. So even in our country, it's not going anywhere.
I hear you, so that's why that was what I wanted us to discuss. Is it the people
who complain forever?
No, I beg you, Mr. Logic. You see tomorrow.
Everywhere in the world, their music is
I beg you, hold on.
Who
Tomorrow,
helped to propel some of this agenda?
please.
Oh, the discussion must be taken at the institution level.
I didn't say money.
Judge 360.
I didn't say
Allow
money.
me to just explain.
Allow you to do what?
Allow them to get.
No. Tomorrow, he can have his discussion. Tomorrow, when he
There's a
comes, he can
warm up
discuss
to tomorrow.
it. Bia.
He only understands where I'm coming
I
from.
know. We're coming from the same place.
The same place.
Yapon.
Yeah, boy.
People been crazy. This guy, he seems the logic is one of them guys where if you be security, when you tell him that you see David Bolton, if he comes, don't allow him to enter. Who is David Bolton? Oh, some light-skinned guy. Once any light-skinned guy comes,
No light-skinned guy.
excuse me, I am not David. Hey, my friend, even if you are not David Bolton, you are light-skinned. This guy, take your time, relax. Oh, so tomorrow I want us to continue with this discussion again. The DJs, I wish they will come and defend this. In fact, on-air personalities, come and defend this. They say you are the reason. They say you people.
They said that they are paid well.
I'm not a DJ.
Hey, my friend, you are fired. Get out. out.
You know the DJ.
I said get out. You are fired.
Okay, sir.
Tomorrow you are not coming to work.
No problem.
Go. Pick your bag. Have you picked your bag?
Yes.
Go. Go out. The door is waiting for you.
He's a major plug.
You are.
Have you
Brother,
seen?
so you are going.
Have you seen?
Major plug. He's a major
Get out. Don't
So
come
you are
back.
going.
Major plug.
Ah,
He's a DJ.
I suck up. You go pick up.
This weekend, your music set.
You don't go play up. You see the guy where they look like Elvis Squashy. Ivy. It will wait for you.
Who?
Ivy. See Ivy, the way Ivy they look like Elvis. It will wait for you. So it means you are fired, not be that. Okay, listen. So tomorrow we'll continue the discussion I hope you've enjoyed every bit of it. On Facebook, Samuel Edu says, if you don't have big men who occupy top position in music, then how would you cross over? Here, Mr. confirm Mr. Logic about. L Mabenzi says, Andy, these Niger guys are very funny. That buddy said something like, Nigerians are out there playing shows in the name of Africa, not Nigeria, and they headline only Niger artists. That buddy said this on his Instagram. The guy lives in the States. He knows what is going on there. What's all this conversation about headline? If a promoter is organizing a show in Nigeria,
a promoter there is what
you can't blame him.
Yeah, it's business. Exactly. It's what brings the revenue. The back.
Obi can somebody could be ani na yet to the HO. Wabra you better check parameters. Then we say, oh, Charlie, I'm a businessman. I'm also yes.
I know.
Someone like this, why should a Nigerian event organizer put up a show and then expect him to put Ghanaians on it? Someone like this, we lack stakeholders who are committed to helping the music grow. Karma says, please, what does Mala maintain? Can you do us the honor and sing it for me, please? Why? Stefano Adam says, this is really deep knowledge, and if we should stick with it, we can go places. Majid Ishak says, I miss Mr. Bolton on Daybreak Hitz. Mr. Bolton there, he's been through and through. In fact, he's been absent or kokra. He's left us. Sabbatical. Elma Bay said, we should let love and respect lead. We don't respect the DJs. We were not raised to respect the DJs, photographers, editors, fitters, carpenters. Opayami Taiwo says, what about the telenovelas, Pragia and Co? What are you people saying about it? Leave Nigerians alone. Well, his name explains it. He's Nigerian. It's yes, Opayemi Taiwo. Yes,
I don't greet you.
Its claim says leadership by example. I think you guys should start playing Ghanaian songs more on your station and your TV stations to should stop showing translated telenovelas on your station. Opayemi Taiwo said Peru. Larisha Nanama said they don't take promising artists, they take their friends. Nana Kojo Wine says, I go some party, Andy be the DJ, he never plays Shatter or Stone. Again, if the people there can't dance to Shatter or Stone Boy, must you play them? If it's a gospel occasion and they want to hear Odamreku, what is Shatter and Stone doing there? Sometimes you drink one for me.
Atapara Pupe is gospel.
It's Atapara Pudu. Pray.
Pray the inside.
Ben Latin says, good morning. I'm grateful and blessed for the insights given us. Please, your name. I want to also use this opportunity to thank Mr. David Bolton for mixing and mastering my songs. God bless you. Philip Neverman said, do we take Bia to international marketing?
Oh.
Yes, we will take it to international marketing. Didn't we say yeah?
We even took a joa. Don't do that.
Peru service there.
Lorinda Nanama says, Ghanaians don't pay to go to parties. They don't spend if Nigerians do. How will you hear Ghanaian songs? Ben Latte says, good morning, I'm grateful. Okay, well, I think I read that one. So we're done. Now let me check out the few ones that have come. Okay, so Candyman Jr. sent in a comment. Now he says, wait. He says, Ira Star, Bloody Samaritan, Essence Remix, Wizkid and Justin Bieber, Lojay, Mona Lisa, Ameno, all the top lists within the Christmas were not Ghanaian. We should do something about our production and rhythm. Our audience don't find our songs appealing anymore. Ghanaians with bigger platforms abroad are insulting our leaders. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay, gentlemen and lady. Thank you all very much for coming. Same time tomorrow, we shall continue with the conversation. I think it's been a very fruitful conversation today. David, please, are you coming back tomorrow?
God willing.
God will.
Ask for 2 days.
Kofi?
Yes, sir.
Are we seeing you?
A day for you.
Thank you. Kofi? Are we seeing you?
I'll come. And they just arrange for coffee for me. That'll be all.
Oh, my coffee there.
I'll get it for you.
3 in 1.
Don't worry.
Man, you be able to say, Eh? Fufu for. Yeah, man, me alone. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Martinez. Thank you, Ria. Thank you to our producers. Thank you, Mr. Logic. Thank you, our producers, Mr. Aglan and Kwame Labi, Flying My Boy, DJ Bridash.
This is Hits.